Hey everybody, this is Curtis from PSNStores.com. Today we're going to take a look at Hue. This game came out just this week. It's on PS4 right now. It's a really cool kind of puzzle game based around the use of colors. So as you see here, I have everything right now. The full color wheel at my disposal. And we're going to show off just a little bit of how you can use that to solve some of the puzzles in this game. So the game starts off and you're in that kind of the village, and you're in search of something. The story here is something that maybe you should just kind of see on your own. There's a lot of you'll collect letters in which someone will read kind of a letter that was written to you, and in reading those you'll learn different things about who that character is, and then there's a lot of talk about like what colors are and how we perceive colors and whether or not the way that I see blue is the same that it's the same blue that you see. Is your blue different than my blue? Is your red different than my red? That kind of stuff. Like that, if that's something that interests you, I think you'll kind of get a little bit more out of this game. But there's a cool little story that's kind of tied into this whole thing, and it all deals with colors. So here we go. We have this rock formation here that is blocking our path. It happens to be kind of a light blue, like a tealish color. So if we change the entire room to that same color, now that rock formation is gone and we can pass through. So the big, kind of the main mechanic here is, in choosing any of these colors, you can change the background of the room or the main color of any room to that color. And in doing so, if that color happens to match up with an obstacle or any other object that is in that room, that object's now going to disappear. One of the elements of this story is the idea of I think they're called like invisible colors, or like colors that you can't, the thought that like maybe there are more colors than we can perceive. And so if that's the case, if there are colors that we can't see, does that mean that it's not there? And the game kind of plays with that, this idea of like, here are these yellow blocks right here, it's blocking my way. But if I can't see them, like, are they really there? It's a lot of that kind of stuff. So we're going to go this way. Yellow is, I believe, one of the later colors that you get. So hopefully that will open up some puzzles for us. So as you see here, these are some lasers. If I run into the laser, we die. So naturally, if I change to red, now that red laser's gone. If I change to this green, now that green laser's gone. So there are lasers, there are like these paint fountains that you can use to change the color of different objects. So sometimes you'll need to do things like that. Might actually be better if we go this way. So there's a lot of traversal like this, like going through these kind of very linear passageways. And typically this is where you will find the letters, and that's where you'll get a little bit of story kind of given to you as you're walking through these very linear rooms. But then these will eventually lead to a series of just small rooms that have some sort of puzzle that you need to solve. And you'll need to solve that puzzle to progress. Typically, there might be a door that's locked that you need to get a key in order to unlock it. Sometimes, if there's not a key, it'll just be a matter of actually reaching that door and figuring out how you need to do that, and like what ways that you can use the different colors that you have in order to access that door. Oftentimes there are switches that you'll need to pull or press to activate any number of different things. So for this instance, we have this door, that yellow door over there on the right side. It's locked, so we need to get this key up here. But there are these lasers, and there's also these spikes down below. So we're going to change this room to this kind of light blue, and then we'll change it to purple, and then blue. Then we'll start jumping around. So there are often times, in this particular case we won't need to, but there are times where the game, like right here, is going to say, okay, we're going to need to change the room to this light blue, this teal color here. And In doing so, the block we're standing on is going to vanish as well. So we're going to need to time it right so that we're going to be jumping as we're changing the room color. So one of the smart things that the game does is it slows time down when you're doing that. So anytime you're changing color, the time slows just slow enough so that you have plenty of time to change to whatever color you need. There are quite a few puzzles that that require some speed. They require you to... Ooh, this might be tough. I'm gonna screw this one up. Okay. There are a number of puzzles where you need to do things when there's a bit of a time limit. You need to do things fast in order to succeed. And that can sometimes be hard. Towards the end of the game, there were some situations where I got kind of annoyed by some puzzles. There were some puzzles that the things that they required you to do were just kind of annoying, as far as like doing things in a very specific way in like a time limit. Like you had to do them fast, or you had to be very quick on your feet to actually succeed in pulling certain things off. And if you don't do that, or if you die, the entire puzzle room resets. And so sometimes you'll get towards the end and there will be puzzles that like take a little, like maybe they're not super hard or anything, but they take a little bit of time to set up. And so, and doing all the setup and then eventually dying can get kind of annoying. It wasn't too big of a deal. Eventually, like, again, you know, for the more often than not, these puzzle rooms don't take a lot of time. Let's see. Yeah, so the puzzle rooms, like, they don't take a lot of time, so there's a little bit of annoyance there in some of the later puzzles, but it didn't really drastically affect kind of my enjoyment of the game. I think I need to be right here. Yep, okay. Oh, crap. Screw that up. See if we got time to do this. Yep, okay. This game's got like a fully piano soundtrack, which I was not expecting when I started this game up. It's pretty nice. It's like nothing super like memorable, I'd say, but it does its job. It's nice little background music for this kind of stuff. So I think I actually, yeah, I think in this case I need to have the purple one go over. So let's kind of move these around, position this over here. Sometimes you just can't talk. Here we go, okay. And then hopefully we should be good. Just need to get that key. And of course, we need to see the door to be able to use it. So yeah, some other things to note. If you go into options, there is a colorblind mode. So what that does, as you've probably already noticed, every color here has a shape that is attached to it. So if you are someone who is colorblind, these are here to help you. I am not, so I don't know. Like, I'd imagine these are probably pretty helpful. At least I would think so. So that is really cool that that's in there, especially, you know, for a game like this that is so heavily based on your ability to see colors in a specific way to solve puzzles. That is massive that they put that in there. That's I imagine that would probably be heavily appreciated by many people. And then also we can go up to this map here. So there are different collectibles. They come in the form of these little like vials here that you can kind of see next to the numbers. I've got about half of them so far, and that was just from completing the game. These 4 areas here are kind of the 4 areas that we start out in. I believe we're in this one, I think. And then eventually you go over towards the left here. And I believe a lot of these are just, you can't get them when you first come across them just because you don't have all the colors available to you. And there are also some that like are just hidden behind walls that have hidden passages that you just kind of got to stumble upon. So those are cool. I don't know if I'll go back and get all of them now that I finished the game. Maybe. I don't know. I do wish that you could just bring it up by hitting the touchpad. You're not always bringing up the map, so I guess it's not a big deal, but I guess it would be kind of nice just to be able to do that. But other than that, I really don't have many complaints with this game. It's a really solid, cool little puzzle platformer. I like that it is so heavily focused around colors. I think that is a concept that we haven't necessarily seen a lot of. Maybe we've seen some things that are pretty similar, but I think what this game is specifically doing is something that I don't know that I've necessarily seen a lot of, and I think it does it pretty well, at least for what it's setting out to do. So I really enjoyed it. I hit the wrong color there. I've really enjoyed it for what it was. I don't know. I think it's $15. I think there might be a sale. But it is available now on PS4. I totally recommend it if you're kind of into these kinds of games. I think it's a very good puzzle game. And the story's kind of interesting too, especially if you like. I know I am someone who has specifically had the conversations with people of like, but yeah, like what if the blue I see isn't the blue you see? Like that kind of weird stuff that we don't really, we'll never really know for sure. I kind of like just talking about that and what that could mean. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff in this game, and so I like that quite a bit. So actually, if you go down there to the ladder, that's where one of the secrets is. But I think that's gonna do it for this. This is Hue, H-U-E. It is out now on PlayStation 4. Published by Curve. I don't remember. Fiddlesticks, I believe, is who the developer is. I don't know what else they've done, but I like the name Fiddlesticks. That's a fun one, fun to say. So thank you for watching, as always. We'll have a full review of this game up, hopefully very soon. But until next time, I'll see you later.